We live in the most connected generation in human history. Start that over. I didn't like that intro. Welcome back.
Cut it.
Welcome back to another episode of the Fruitful 3 show.
You buddy.
We're your host, Levi and Isaiah. And the other one is gone today. So, life is life.
He's a mystery, man. He's sometimes here, sometimes not.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to talk about social media and how it traps us and all this other stuff. If you paid attention to the title, you already know. But we live in the most connected generation in human history. Billions of people linked through screens, information at our fingertips, the whole world in the palm of our hands. But here's the truth. Nobody wants to admit. We've never been more isolated. We've never been more addicted, and we've never been more deceived. Social media promised to bring us under. Instead, it's tearing us apart. Technology was supposed to free us, but we become slaves. The Bible warned us about systems that would control minds, manipulate hearts, and make people worship the works of their own hands. And right now we're living in it. Today we're exposing the digital deception of social media as eroding our empathy, hijacking our attention, and what it means to be human.
You know, I was just thinking about this on the way here, and you kind of hit a point in here that made me think of it. But I was actually going to kind of do a deep dive into like the history of like kind of how it all started and like what the whole like the ideology behind it was of like what it was supposed to do and how the first people portrayed it as doing compared to where it is today. And I never
how it was supposed to connect us and spread love and information.
How like the vision that whoever had that started it, what their vision was, and then how it is today, and how they do like a comparison and contrast on it. But I thought of that earlier today, and I'm like, man, that it's almost too late to try adding those notes.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I did not think of that when I did these notes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if you guys want to learn that, we'll reach out to us, one of us, and we'll do our homework on it.
Yes, make it a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
Bore you to sleep. We got a merch. The Fruitful 3 merch line. Well, this is all the merch. We have tees, hoodies, and accessories that carry our message, fruits of your labor, and Psalms 128 verse 2, which is basically fruits of your labor. It's more than merch. It's a reminder to stay grounded in truth while the world tries to pull you into the noise. So support the mission, spread the message, and go check it out. It's down in the link below. And for some reason, it doesn't link it. So you have to copy and paste it. I don't know why. I have no clue.
We might have to do a little research on that one.
Yes. The empathy crisis. When humans become content, let me ask you something. Oh, that's part of the intro. My bad. When's the last time you scrolled past someone's pain without feeling anything? When's the last time you saw someone hurting and instead of helping, you just kept scrolling? We've become numb. Social media was designed to connect us, but instead it's trained us to treat people like content. Think about it. We don't see a person crying, we see a video. You don't witness someone struggling, you see a post. And instead of empathy, we give them a quick reaction like a like, an emoji, maybe thoughts and prayers, comment, and then we move on. That's not connection. That's performance.
Okay, so we are hosting over the weekend at Pioneers Inn. We're hosting a 90th birthday party.
Woo.
And I noticed as I was advertising it, because it's a local lady in our community that's doing it, but I noticed a lot of it when I shared it to try to get the word out and try to get people to come and tell her happy birthday and stuff in person, or share stories and stuff like that of how they know each other. A lot of people just put happy birthday on like they commented happy birthday and everything else. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if they'll actually show up or if they just commented happy birthday and that's just their way of not actually being a part of the celebration. So that's another reaction is how many times do we try to do something like a birthday party for someone and then people just comment happy birthday on all the comments and that's their way of participating.
Participating. And here's the scary part. Studies show that social media actively erodes empathy. Platforms encourage quick, heavy, or image heavy interactions, like swipes, judgment calls in half a second. Over time, that trains your brain to make surface level responses instead of actually listening or reflecting on someone else's experiences. You stop seeing people as full humans with complicated inner lives. You start seeing them as content, as targets, as entertainment. And that's how cyberbullying explodes. One in six school age kids now experience cyberbullying. And here's what's chilling: 40% of students who engage in cyberbullying reported feeling nothing afterward. Only 16% felt guilty. I would like to say this is a European study.
So it may not be 100% accurate to the technology in the United States.
Yes, and this was also in 2024, I believe. I believe that's what the article said. 40% felt nothing. That's not just cruelty, that's emotional death. And 78% of people admit it's easier to say hurtful things online than face to face.
You know, this kind of reminds me of like the whole 90s rap battle, like
the disses.
Because everyone would diss you on a track, but then they would never want to confront you. Well, granted, some of them were like true hardcore gangsters, but some people hide behind a mic. Yeah. And the other thing is too is I heard this a couple years ago and it deals with this topic, but there was a guy talking about how back in the day they used to like haze people or bully people or joke around and stuff like that. And I mean he went to school back in like the 80s and he said normally like you could do all that in school and like the kid would go home to like a safe, loving family. Majority of the time that's what happened. Now you can get bullied in school and you still go home and you get bullied no matter what because of all the technology and the cyberbullying that's going on. So you cannot so back in the day you could physically escape it by going to a good home, loving parents. I mean if you had that, if you didn't have that, then yeah, I can understand where the problems arose. But most of the time you go home to a loving family, you felt at peace and everything else. Now you can go home and people are still chasing you through text messages or social media and other stuff.
Screens create distance. They remove consequences. They let us dehumanize each other without ever having to look someone in the eye. In the Bible, in Matthew 6:21, where your treasure is, there your heart will also be. And right now, our hearts are trapped behind screens and they're growing cold. We're not losing empathy by accident. We're being trained to stop caring. And the platforms, they profit from it.
Cha-ching.
Because outrage get clicks. Drama gets engagement. I hate you. I'm kidding. Like the video.
So you want to talk about drama?
Yeah.
So we kind of you mentioned Matthew and the Bible and stuff too, right? So I've been studying Martin Luther and I've been going through because I found this old book of his in a thrift store and it basically is like his notes and how they built the his catechism?
Catechism.
Yep. His catechism off of these notes. Well, his life was like so short-lived because he was constantly on the run after he rebelled against the Catholic Church. So he was constantly on a run. So, but what I find amazing is like I've been putting this stuff on like social media of like what the Bible actually says compared to Martin Luther's notes and like, hey, he was on the right track, but this is where he was wrong. And the the debates on there of how people are trying to tell me, oh, I'm wrong and this and that. And once again, drama gets engagement. And I'm not trying to start drama. I'm just trying to educate people of like, hey, this is what I learned throughout my life. And even though Martin Luther was on the right track, he didn't have all the years to study that as some people have.
And, it's probably Midwestern people that think they know everything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just Americans in general. I've upgraded. And the algorithm doesn't care if you're hurting someone, it just wants you to keep scrolling. This is the empathy crisis. And if we don't wake up, we're raising a generation that doesn't know how to love. So now let's talk about how they hijack your brain and how they trap you. Social media isn't just entertaining, it's engineered to be addictive. I have this nice little art of social media book that has nothing on it other than the title right there on that side. That goes into why it's addictive and why they wanted it to be addictive. So every time you refresh your feeds, every notification, every new video, that's not random. It's a reward system. Platforms use something called variable rewards, unpredictable burst of new content that triggers the same brain response as gambling.
Oh no.
Yeah. You don't know what's coming next, so you keep scrolling, you keep refreshing, you keep checking, and before you know it, you're hooked. As of January 2025, 56% of people consider themselves addicted to their digital devices. Think about that. More than half of us admit we can't put it down.
We've been officially hooked, line and sinker.
Yes. And kids, it's even worse. Children now spend an average of 7.5 hours a day on screens, just for entertainment, not learning, not creating, entertainment. This is kind of crazy because when I was like lower teenage years, I don't know how to call that.
Obsessed with video games. Is that where you're going?
Yes, but like I was saying, it was the number was 7 hours a day. I thought this would be a whole lot higher.
Yeah.
But but we also used to be a lot more creative back in the day. So that 7 hours was more with learning and being creative and other stuff.
Okay. And since you're on the topic of creativity, we had the privilege of being more creative because we really couldn't walk down the road to a friend's house. We were kind of stuck in no man's land. Mm-hmm. So we had to get creative, or we had to ask our parents to drive us to a friend's house.
Which the answer was typically no. I gotta work. We had to be creative. And we came up with some really cool games and really cool stuff.
And some really dumb shit.
Yes. So meanwhile, they spend 35% less time playing outside than what their parents did.
All right. So speaking of this, I was actually waiting until you came to this.
Good deal.
But I watched a video the other day. Wow. Social media, watching a video. But it was actually as a mom, and she brought up that she has officially gotten rid of screen time in her house because she noticed that her son, so she has a son and a daughter, and her daughter liked screen time a lot more, and her son would be the more active one, going outdoors, wanting to do things outside. Well, she noticed her son's behavior was he wanted to do more screen time, never wanted to go outside again. So, I mean, the outdoorsy side of him was slowly fading, and he just wanted to do more inside because she always left TV on, always gave him screen time, stuff like that. And I don't know I don't remember why she did that. But she said there's a reason behind it of why she is doing that. And I think it was like work overload, or there was something going on where she just didn't have the ability to spend the time with them. Like maybe she had surgery. I don't remember that. But she noticed her son, his behavior changing. So she goes, nope, we are not going to do this. We're officially just going to, she banned it. Her daughter had a huge problem with it because she absolutely loved watching TV, stuff like that. So she does let them watch like movies or like TV shows, but it's like select time throughout the day so she can please her daughter. But then she also makes some, it's like maybe she selects like 2 hours out of the day of like, hey, you're gonna watch this movie, and then once that movie's over, no more screen time, kind of deal. And she said that even in her daughter, after she started doing that, her daughter's more engaged with doing outdoor stuff and doesn't just want to sit in a screen. She's actually more engaged, more involved,
And
wants
her
to try new things.
behavior is probably better.
Yep. So
I was surprised. So we have a new family that moved in down the street. And we as kids we were always outside from like sunrise to sundown.
yep.
And I am surprised that they make their kids do the same dang thing. They are outside every time I walk out of the house. I'm like, holy cow! I just want to give a round of applause. It's so cool.
It's really cool when you actually see kids outside playing all the time. Like
actually on bikes instead of playing on phones, sitting around in a circle.
We have a family that moved in catty corner to us there where I live, and I know we know the family pretty well because they used to work for mom at the restaurant. But I think it was like 6:30 in the morning. I was getting ready to leave for work, and they were out playing on their swing set before school. And I sat there and went, whoa, that's the type of lifestyle you should be having, instead of most kids would want to sit inside and watch TV until then. So I was just impressed. I was just impressed to see that the other day.
Studies show 70% of mothers played outside every day when they were girls. Only 31% say their kids do the same. And the average American child spends just 4 to 7 minutes a day in unstructured outdoor play. 4 minutes. But hours upon hours staring at a screen. Just think about this. There's 24 hours in a day. That is, so if 7 hours, 7.5 hours, round that up to 8 hours, that is a third of your day. A third of your day you're sleeping, a third of your day you're watching TV, and a third of your day you're doing something else. I don't know what else. So, and what are they doing? TikTok, YouTube, video games designed with the same addictive patterns. Instead of learning real skills, building real relationships, getting down and dirty, and making memories, they're trapped in consumption loops. Their brains are being wired for instant gratification and constant stimulation. This clicks something. I like every year they do a news story on how kids are younger and younger doing like makeup, and like now 8-year-olds are doing makeup, and it's like for social media and instant gratification, and I'm gonna feel sorry for when they grow up and get the real world.
See, I might just explain to everybody how kind of dumb I might be, because there's probably a lot of things I did that probably shortened my maturity. Like, I remember growing up and we used to go out, and so like you're talking about like making memories and stuff like that, but we used to go out and we used to like eat worms, or like eat bugs like worms and stuff. I mean, just stuff like that, because and it was more of off of dares than anything else. But the deal is at the end of the day, you were making memories at the end of it. Compared, like, there might have been dumb stuff, or trying to build a ramp and seeing if you could get into the neighbor's cornfield and jump half a block to the neighbor's cornfield,
or building a city for the ants to live in until the great flood of rain came and flooded them all out.
Or remember our neighbor, we used to buy brand new toys, and then we used to sit there with screwdrivers and tear them apart and custom build. Like, we just bought this like $20 toy like 10 minutes ago, and it's already torn apart, and we're putting Yoda's hand on a Power Ranger. Like,
I remember playing in the yard and digging holes and finding all the missing pieces to Levi's failed Power Rangers, and whatever else.
I am really scared. I will be honest with you. I'm really scared that if mom and dad ever decide to finish the basement underneath here, which I know they have a few different plans on which way they want to go, but if they do decide this one and they did decide to dig out the ground underneath this house, I don't want to know what they find underneath that front porch. I will be honest with you.
I found a whole metal truck. Like not those little toy ones, you can get for Hot Wheels. I'm saying like one of those 80s ones that are like not model size, but like they're called a model. Yeah, they're like a model basically, but they're the size of, I don't know how to compare it.
And I'm pretty sure that probably was dad's and not mine. So
yeah, you probably stole it from grandma's house. So adults are no better. We hide behind screens to escape reality. Instead of leading our families, we binge Netflix. Instead of dealing with what's broken, we scroll through Instagram. Every time people have a problem, it's kind of hilarious. I watch people all the time have problems and they instantly just get on their phone and sit down, and it's like, you could do this a whole lot faster if you just sit around and just think about it, stare into space for 2 seconds.
Well, I realize this isn't totally social media, but the other thing is I've noticed a few times I've gone out to eat and you could literally sit right across from each other, and it's not just couples, it's like fathers, daughters, father, son, mother, like whatever. But I've noticed there's been times where you get two people that sit across from each other, or even a table full. I mean, I've even noticed this in the restaurant at times, and they just sit there and the whole family just plays on their phones and don't even say a single word to each other. So I'm like, what are you guys, why are you guys out to eat? Isn't like, to me, if you go out to eat, it's to try some new food or eat something different, and it's to bond with each other that you normally don't get sometimes at home.
Or they text each other when they're right across the table. It's like, come on, man. Come on. It's ridiculous. It's redonkulous. I might not be the best person, and I know you're not supposed to throw your phone on the table when you're with people, but I will throw it on the table face down and out of the side, so that way it's not in my pocket. It's over there and it's face down, so if I get any notifications, I have all my notifications like sounds off, but if it still lights up, so it's out of my way, so and flipped over so I can't see it and I can spend quality time.
So like what my wife and I have decided to do is usually one of us, so we either decide one of us is bringing our phone in or we're not bringing phones in at all, right? And usually the times that we bring it, like, I mean, sometimes we just bring our phone in just in case there's emergency or something that we need a phone for. Now, usually if like, sometimes we'll bring both phones in, because if, say, I'm expecting a specific message or a specific phone call or something, then I'll bring my phone in, and sometimes my wife will bring her phone in just because she knows I'm expecting that, and her phone is more of like the emergency phone in case I happen to take that phone call and then something happened. We have her phone there as a backup. But usually it's either one phone or no phone, depending on what we decide.
Instead of investing in real intimacy, real partnership, real love, people are substituting it with pixels. That's not just a bad habit, that's idolatry.
You forgot a paragraph. Speaking of idolatry.
I'm sorry,
your
broski.
Pornos, bro. Mom threw away your best porno mag?
Oh, I did. Thank you. Okay.
Anytime.
Behavioral addiction studies show that 41% of people struggle with pornos or pornography and sexual content online. Wow.
Yeah, you gotta fight. for your right to
So-
party. Oh wait, never mind. Sorry, I shouldn't be encouraging this.
So now everything that I said like 2 minutes ago is going to make sense. Instead of investing in real intimacy, real partnership, real love, I thought that real made sense with the other paragraph, but substituting it with pixels, that's not just a bad habit, that's idolatry. We're worshiping pleasure instead of purpose. We're bowing to the algorithm instead of to God. Revelation 9:20 through 21 warns about humanity refusing to repent of the works of their hands. Think about that. We've created systems that enslave us, and instead of walking away, we cling to them. Technology was supposed to serve us, but we've become its servants.
Yeah.
And every time we chose the screen over real life, we trade growth for comfort. We trade present for distraction. We trade our humanity for a dopamine hit. The platforms know this, they changed it this way, and they're making billions while we lose ourselves.
It's even a lot worse now because I'll be honest with you, I've had a porn addiction for a long time and I'm slowly breaking it. But coming from someone who's done that, there's a lot of stuff that it causes. And I mean, I know, unfortunately, I know a few pastors too out there that have struggled with this. I mean, even when they were pastoring on Sundays and then they would go and be on the pulpit Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, they'd be hiding out in their bathroom. Like, I mean, unfortunately, pornography is a huge deal right now. I mean, not just right now, but it's always been a huge deal.
But it's like bigger now.
Well, because you have like
it's shared more
Well,
and
it's not,
accepted more.
yeah, okay, so it's more accepted, and I won't really say it's a fast way to make money, but if you're a female and you're a fairly attractive female, it is.
I mean, even now you can just go and get an AI model. You can create an AI model and then just start your own right there, right then and there.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
with like OnlyFans out there, and don't get me wrong, I understand that it takes a lot of effort to grow that business and to grow a business, but usually if you are a fairly decent, good looking female, you have a lot more in today's society, you have a better chance of finding someone who's going to spend money on you, or than the old tradition, like go out, ask on a date, so on and so forth. Also, with that being said, is now that females are starting to figure out they can make money off of like dates and photos and everything else. Like, I don't know if Isaiah's experienced this with him being single, but I know there are women out there who will not go on dates with you unless you pay like ahead of time and say, hey, no, you have to pay for my services. I won't go on a date with you unless you pay for my services. Back when I was doing that, you just walked into a bar and you bought them a beer or a drink, and either they were like, well, thanks for the drink, but you're not my type, and you look like a complete idiot, or you shoot your shot and you either get it
or the bar laughs at you.
Yeah. I was like, or they're appreciative of it, and you could still walk home or walk out of that bar as a complete retard because you said something dumb throughout the night that totally blew your chances of it going any farther. But I was more appreciative of the fact that like they were actually willing to take the time out of their day and actually have a conversation with me, even though I looked like a retard in the end on some of them.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to the loneliness paradox. So here is the great lie. Social media promised to connect the world, but it made us lonelier than ever. Over 2 billion people worldwide, 30% of all adults report feeling lonely. In America, 57% say they are lonely. Among Gen Z, those aged 18 to 24, it's 57%. We've never had more friends. We've never had more ways to connect. Yet more than half of young adults feel isolated. And it's not just emotional, it's deadly. Health experts say loneliness increases your odds of premature death by 50%. That's equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Man, y'all are chain smokers.
Yeah, loneliness is killing us. But how? How does a platform designed to connect us make us feel more alone? Connection isn't the same as presence. You can have thousands of followers and zero friends. You can message someone every day and never actually know them. Social media replaces messy, sustained in person relationships with quick, curated exchanges. You scroll through highlight reels, everyone's best moments filtered and edited. And you. Yeah, edited.
Today, Junior.
I was gonna try to do the Tigger the tiger.
Oh man.
And you start comparing. You felt left out, or you start feeling left out. You start believing everyone else is living a better life than you.
And sometimes they're really not.
Yeah, sometimes they're just as lonely as you, and you need to go over and give them a big old fat hug in person.
Some of them are social media gold diggers.
That too.
Well, I don't know exactly how to word that. But let's say the way I'm trying to explain this is, let's say I go out to a parking lot and there's a Lambo sitting out there, and I start, all of a sudden I'm like on Instagram filming myself like, hey man, look at my Lambo, like I'm totally rich. Or I go and like one of my friends invite me and there's a yacht there, or go fishing, we have a yacht, or you know what I mean? It's like, and then you start bragging that up and all of a sudden you're somebody you're not.
It's like kind of funny around here, you know, everyone has boats.
Yeah.
And it's like, as soon as someone gets invited on a boat that's never been on a boat before, it's social media. I'm on a boat. Look at me. Life. A study showed that even short intentional limits on social media use reduce loneliness and depression. That tells you something, doesn't it? The platform itself is the problem. And beyond loneliness, there's the misinformation, the algorithmic creation that feeds you sensational content to keep you engaged. It fragments reality, it divides people, corrodes trust. You're not connecting with the world, you're belonging. Yeah, thank you. Fed a distorted version of its designed to keep you angry, anxious, and glued to the screen.
Okay, so there's a lot of things like if I like spend time scrolling through social media, there's a lot of things out there that like will interest me, but at the same time, I might sit there and I might watch it and it's just like, that's 5 minutes I'll never get back in my life. Also, and then it's like, okay, if that video kind of like the first few deals piqued my interest, and then by the time I'm done with the video, it wasn't really worth it. I won't like, the minute that next person comes up somewhere in my feed, I ignore it, because it's like, that was just 3 to 5 minutes of my time I'll never get back. Now there are people out there who I do follow. Like there's a few shops out there that I follow that are really, really good shops. And so like when I watch their content, I'm always learning something from their content, or I learn how the way they run their shop. And so like those are the guys, if I can actually learn something off of it, I'm more likely to, when their video pops up the next time, to actually engage in watching it, compared to like, oh, well, the intro piqued my interest, but the video wasn't worth it. Next time I'm not going to spend the time watching this person.
Yeah. Yeah. I just mainly watch food mixes, like mixes as in like music mixes, you know, like remixes, EDM, bass, and drum, all that fun stuff, dubstep, fitness videos, you know, to get better at getting stronger, you know. And the best one is religion. And I will watch the crap out of like the people that will create content like to make it funny, like to make it easier to understand the Bible or whatever, but like make it into a meme or some funny thingy or something like that. Some skit. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Revelation chapter 12 verse 9 calls Satan the deceiver of the whole world. world. And right now, mass deception doesn't come through ideology alone. It comes through screens, through disinformation, through the slow erosion of attention, empathy, and truth. We're not just disconnected from each other,
What'd
we're
you say?
disconnected from reality itself. Get off your phone. We're doing a podcast.
Sorry, it felt like the perfect. You said we're disconnected from each other. It felt like the perfect. It felt like the perfect time to do something.
So families sit in the same room staring at different screens.
Funny, I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, we
Right.
have two screens. Which screen are you looking at so I can look at the other one?
I was actually talking about that when I talked about families going out and eating and what I've noticed.
Churches live stream to thousands but don't know their neighbors. Oof. Influencers have millions of followers but can't name a real friend. That's
Yeah,
kind of
buddy.
sad. Revelation chapter 3 verse 17 rebukes the Laodicean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Church, you say, I am rich, I have acquired wealth and do not need it. It could be. I don't know. I can't pronounce half the stuff in the Bible. But you do not realize that you are wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. That is us. We think we're connected. We think we have everything, but we're spiritually blind, emotionally starved, and relationally, my goodness, relationally broken. God didn't design us to live through pixels. He designed us for presence. That's why, when you get around someone you actually like, you get like very hyper and very energetic.
What?
That's
No
crazy, And that's why like people get depressed when they're not around people, like wow.
Wait, so is that why I'm so depressed?
Yeah.
Is I go to
I'm
work
sorry,
at home
buddy.
to a family, don't have friends anymore?
Sorry, buddy.
Actually, it's better off that way. To be honest, the whole reason I say that is because I used to hang around some really sketchy people. So it's.
But
It's
as I have noticed, God will always put the sketchy people in your lives to either teach them or they teach you something that you had no clue you'd ever learn from them.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So we traded all of it for Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, dummy.
Oh my goodness. Now let's go deeper. Revelation chapter 13 talks about a system of control where people can't buy, sell, or function in society unless they conform to the mark of the beast.
If you actually read that chapter, it is crazy.
It's wild.
So I don't know if it's actually in here, but they talk about how a beast formed, or basically there's like this statue. They form a statue. This beast gives life to the statue. And then this statue goes around and won't do anything unless somebody has the mark of the beast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it won't help you. It won't nothing. A lot of people, and I'll be honest, I don't actually know the true purpose of everything, but the whole reason I've put this in here is because a lot of people have taken that into like the AI world because they've taken that statue as like a robot or whatever, and that robot's supposed to then help you, but it will not help you unless you have the mark of the beast. So in other words, it's basically saying AI is a form of the devil and it won't actually serve you a purpose unless, yeah. So that's kind of the whole reason I put this in here. I am not very fluent on this chapter, to be honest with you, but like I said, is what I've seen and what's kind of trending in the world right now between churches and social media. I figured this was kind of a good deal to put in here. Now, if I'm totally wrong, come at me. I'll totally take it.
I mean, you're not the only one. I've seen like 5 reels this morning saying, "Oh, the devil's the AI, and it's in the Bible, and I can prove it." And it's like,
Yep. Like I said, this was a trending topic, so that's kind of the reason I put it in here.
Yeah. So for centuries, people wondered what that meant, and maybe we're living it, not in some dystopian sci-fi future right now. Your identity is tied to your digital footprint. Your ability to work, shop, connect, and exist socially increasingly depends on conformity to online systems. Algorithms decide what you see. Platforms decide who hears your voice. Your data is bought, sold, and used to manipulate your behavior. And if you step out of line, you're silenced, shadow banned, erased. You know something about that?
What do you mean?
Haven't you been shadow banned? Haven't you been kicked off of Facebook?
Not really.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know. I might have.
no, it is Tyler that got shadow banned. He got kicked off of Facebook for trying to help a friend out. But yeah,
I know there's been, I don't know. I'll be honest with you, since you're on the topic of Facebook, I really don't know what Facebook's rules and regulations are anymore, because
they change it like every week. Come on, don't you? Do you get the update saying we've updated our terms and services? Please read them. Don't you read them?
But the deal is like, I know people have gotten, I mean, I post a lot of political stuff. Like, I'll post political stuff, I'll post Christian faith-based stuff. And I know people who's gotten in trouble and banned from Facebook for political stuff or religious type stuff. I also know people, they've gotten banned for showing too much, and yet you can go through certain Facebooks and basically see strippers on there getting naked. So, like, to me, I don't know where the
Yeah.
I don't know where the fine line is, because it's like, what's okay that one person does, but then I can go do exactly what that person did and I don't get banned for it. It's like, where exactly do you draw the line in this whole thing?
Yes. Revelation chapter 18:23 warns us about sorcery that deceives the nations. The Greek word there is pharmakia, something, deceptive practices that lead people astray. If you really think about it, influencer culture, curated illusions, the worship of fame, status, and appearance, algorithms that keep you addicted while making you feel like you're free. That's the modern Babylon, dazzling the world while quietly enslaving minds. Why are they enslaving us?
There's a reason the tower was never finished. Or is that not the tower?
This is the Tower of Babel.
Oh.
Babylon was the one that took the Israelites into slavery.
Oh.
Babylon.
My bad. Wrong one. For some odd reason, I had Tower of Babylon in my head. My bad.
Yes, which Eli and I were discussing about this. What if the whole reason God made us have different languages because he destroyed the tower and changed our languages? So we had all separate, so we couldn't communicate on building this thing anymore. What if he did that because of space? You know, we get so far in the atmosphere and then we just killed ourselves pretty much. So God, was like, I'm going to protect you and call this a sin or something like that. I don't know if it's actually considered a sin or if what, but we were discussing about that.
Yeah.
And here's the scariest part. People know it's harmful, but they won't let go. Revelation chapter 9 says humanity refuses to repent of the works of the hands. We cling to our devices even when they destroy us. We worship our own creations even when they steal our souls. The beast doesn't come with horns and fire. It comes with convenience, with entertainment, with the illusion of connection, and we give it our attention willingly. But Revelation chapter 2, verse 4 through 5 gives us a way out. You have forsaken the love you had at first. Consider how far you have fallen. Repent and do the things you did at first. Translation: go back to what's real. Go back to human touch. Go back to genuine love. Don't let the system own your heart. You have any personal stories you would like to tell?
Not really.
I thought this was going to take a lot longer than what I thought. Yeah, I do.
I don't know. I know I had some pretty good notes in here. You know what I find really crazy throughout this whole thing? So like, we're talking about technology, right? And we've talked about biblical stuff. But I find really extremely crazy about this whole, what caused us to sin in the first place?
A man listened to a woman.
Okay, before then. What was the very first sin that was caused?
Woman listened to a serpent.
And ate what?
A woman listened to a serpent.
Yeah, and she ate what?
Oh, she ate. Okay, I didn't hear ate.
Oh.
I heard a completely different word. I'm like, she ate a forbidden fruit.
Yeah. And what walks around in our pocket most of the time?
A bitten apple.
So,
But yet they claim it's not for religious purposes. It was all just for the design that they liked, and it was
which it very well could be, but I find it crazy how you have all these theories or all these theories. There's a word, theorists. Is that the word I'm looking for? Talking about how AI is going to be the end of the world and how it's destroying us and so on and so forth. And yet you can make the connection between the forbidden fruit is what caused, technically that's what caused the first sin. Like Eve trusted Satan and ate the forbidden fruit, and now people are saying that technology is going to be the death of us, and we're walking around, and a lot of people walk around.
Majority of people walk around with apples in their phones.
Yeah, with a bite out of an apple in their pockets.
Thank you. They're apples in their phones.
Yeah, with a bite taken out of an apple, walking around on their phone in their pocket. So
interesting.
It is interesting. Get them.
Got them.
Got them.
Cleaned. And you know, I might not be the best person to do this subject because I isolate myself a lot. But you know, I'd much rather spend my 20s grinding and my 30s relaxing than, you know, anything else.
No wonder you're so much farther than me.
Yeah. Gave up the party life so I could have something to go off of.
But I can officially say
you had fun.
Well, I can also officially say I don't think people can tell half the stories that I have.
Mm-hmm. It's also true.
I also don't think a lot of people can tell you I've preached the gospel in a strip club. I don't think people can say that. I also don't think that people can go around saying they've preached the gospel to a lesbian couple in a bar and you still told them that they could get to heaven, and you could still tell strippers that they'll get to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you've talked to drug dealers and told them they can still go to heaven, even being a drug dealer or a stripper.
Half the drug dealers around here will start the conversation about God first.
Because they're so high, they don't know what they're probably not.
They're in a different plane of understanding.
How do I want to word this? They don't physically see God, but they're physically seeing God.
Well, how I put it is like, as a society, we are so close-minded. We are forced to be so close-minded that, like, you know, as a kid, you know, you kind of like hear voices or hear things, and you know, that could be like God talking to you.
I hear voices in my head.
Yeah. and so we're told by the adults to drown that out because that's not normal and all this other stuff. And so then the only way God can talk to you is when your mind is open, and through drugs is like, and even when you're drunk, your mind is open to a point where God can actually talk to you, you know?
Yeah.
That's how I always put it.
I don't know. I think let's put it this way: is I firmly believe this because I have experienced it. God can show you multiple signs and can also like tell you something's wrong. And if you're dumb enough and you don't see the red flags and you don't understand this, he is going to find a way to get your attention one way or the other. And it may not be the best. I don't know where this. It may not be the best decision in your life. And you might also think it's a little unorthodox, but he's going to find a way to, I will tell you a story here.
Oh yeah.
To make this more clear. One, I was dating a girl back in high school, and it was not a healthy relationship by any means.
Very toxic.
Okay, fair enough. Wait. I was trying to figure out how to make this people-friendly conversation here.
But I'm just gonna tell the truth. You're welcome.
Okay, go ahead. That's fine. So and it went on a lot longer than what it should have, way longer than what it should have. But I had a friend call me up one night and she needed help. And so I decided to go help her. And for some odd reason, mom had this gut feeling that when I left the house, mom warned me. She goes, something, I have this weird feeling that something bad is going to happen, but the outcome's going to be great. So just be very careful because something bad's around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't know what something bad was, but me and this other girl ended up hooking up that night. Like, I ended up getting drunk. I ended up being in places I shouldn't have been. And at the end of the night, we hooked up. And at the end of the whole thing is I ended up realizing that the person I was currently with was, as Isaiah says, toxic. And I was going to call it off. So that is what I'm saying is God will give you a whole bunch of signs. And I was dumb enough, I didn't see the red signs. So God put me and I believe that everything like, I don't remember the passage, but it says everything works in the good, or everything will work out for the good of God. Mm-hmm. Right. And so like, I believe that was God's way of saying like, hey, dude, you're an idiot. Like, I've showed you all this stuff. You're not going to get it. So I'm going to make things really, really sketchy tonight and make you rethink everything in your life choices. And you're going to figure out that I've been trying to tell you this answer this whole time.
Mm-hmm. If you don't listen, God will make you go through a personal hell, and then he'll throw you the rope after you've learned it. Yeah. Climb back out.
And I'm not going to say that was all God's doing, right? Because I believe that sometimes God is going to sit here and God's just like goes, okay, he's an idiot. Satan, you do your thing. And by the time Satan's done, God's like swoops in and goes, nope, not today, Satan. Like, this one's mine. And he goes, you had your fun. Now I'm going to ship him right on the right path again.
It's like the story of Job all over again.
Yeah. It's like literally and that's where I get it. It's like, I believe that God will sit there and he looks down and he goes, all right, Satan, do your thing.
Mm-hmm. To every negative, there's a positive.
Yep. And he's like I said, Satan, do your thing. And then God just sits back and goes, all right. And all of a sudden he goes, nope, Satan, you had your fun, but nope, not today.
Not today, Junior. Yeah.
So yeah,
that's why you should give glory to God all the time.
Yeah.
Because then the devil can never win.
Yeah.
Even if it's something negative, there's always a positive and a negative. You just got to look at the positives.
Yeah.
Instead of the negatives. Looking at the negatives will allow the devil to win. You'll be like, why did the devil allow me to do this? Or do this to me? Or blah, blah, blah. But
speaking of that, have you ever noticed they never blame Satan for anything? It's always, why did God allow this? It's never Satan.
Oh, I blame it on Satan. And then I'm like, thank you, God.
But you get but you understand where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Is you and I might do that. But if you watch any, once again, we're going back to social media or like TV, it's always, why me, God? Why are you doing this? Why would you allow that? And then it's like, there's certain things that God allows to happen because he knows it's the only way to get your attention, because he can sit here and he can give you every single warning in the book. And finally, I think I think he finally just sits there and goes, all right, here's your last card.
Mm-hmm. It was funny. In New York, in my apartment, I always had the window open because I really never had AC I never really had AC. So I always had the window cracked open. And 8 o'clock or 8:30 every morning, there was a guy that would walk down my street, walk down the sidewalk, and you could hear him from a mile away. He would be cussing and screaming at the top of his lungs, why God, why me? And saying, dropping cuss words and curse words and cursing and all this BS. And I'm like, I've also came to the conclusion through this that when people get really offended when you say, "Oh my goodness," well, "Oh my God," and Jesus Christ, but in reality, if you take the context of it, they're really sending a prayer. Depending on the context, it is really a prayer. If it's just out of context, but most of the time it's in context, it's really a prayer. If you really think about it, they finish their prayer with, "Oh my God." Or they started off with, "Oh my God," and then go into their cursing and complaining. And sometimes prayer will be like that.
Oh, I've always, every time someone says like Jesus or Jesus Christ near me, right? I go, "Oh, I'm sorry. I wish I could be him, but unfortunately, I'm not."
I just whisper under my breath as our Lord and Savior, or I just say amen.
Yep.
You know, finish the prayer.
I used to say it is our Lord and Savior, but finally I got to the point where I was like, I wish I could be him, but I know I can't be him, so I apologize.
I strive to be him.
You're talking to the wrong person, or
Mhm.
you got me mistaken with the wrong person.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alrighty. Anything else you'd like to add to that?
So did we ever mention in here how like our attention span is getting shorter with social media? I think we did, but
I think it was a real quick paragraph,
yeah,
which I kind of feel bad that we didn't talk about it.
it's all
But, you
right.
know, it happens.
Yeah, coming from the guy who had like a whole essay put in here.
You? Yeah, you? Yeah, I had an essay, he had an essay, and then I had to mix the two. So things got cut, and things got mixed, and things got whatever. So, look, I'm not saying technology is pure evil. It is a tool if you use it correctly. It's connected families across the world. You know, Levi would call me like every week when I was in New York. So, you know, and he was connected. It's given us voices to the marginalized. It's created opportunities that didn't exist before, but it becomes dangerous when it replaces real life.
So one thing here too is like we're talking about like families and stuff. So like the whole reason Facebook was created was to like connect people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Facebook is a really good platform in my mind because there's a lot of people out there who have moved away or like, well, our grandparents are dead, but I know a lot of older people are on there because that's the way they can stay connected. I mean, we have family that lives like 8 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
And so they use Facebook to keep track of what we're doing or to check up on us if like, I mean, if you post something, that's like if you don't use social media then it's a lot harder, but like something like Facebook is if you post something like pictures of, hey, we did this event today or something like that, other family members and friends can kind of stay connected with you in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words, it's a really good platform. It's just it kind of there's been a lot of other things like Twitter and Instagram and stuff that's evolved from Facebook that's kind of taken things in a different direction.
When screens become your escape instead of your tool, when digital interactions replace human presence, when you're more connected to strangers online than the people you live with.
We got issues.
Yes. So here's my challenge for you. Put your phone down tonight. Sit in silence. Stare at the ceiling in your bed for once, you know? Talk to your family, not at them, with them. Go outside, touch grass, feel the air, pray. You know, relearn to be in the present, relearn to feel, relearn to love. Because emotion is a gift from God. Empathy is proof that you're still human, and real connection is proof you're still alive. Don't.
Okay, so one thing, since you were talking on this, right? And I know I've mentioned this before on different topics, but one thing Charlie Kirk used to preach on all the time is he would, so every Sunday what they would do is they'd shut everything, they'd shut their phones off for the whole entire day. So the minute it, like, I don't know exactly how they did this, right? So I don't know if it started when they got up And it was like, say they got up at like 7 o'clock, immediately all phones went off at 7 o'clock. Or if you somehow set it on a timer,
You can.
to where your phones turn off at a certain time. Like, I don't know how he did it, but every Sunday he would shut everything off. So no TV, no cell phones, no radio, no nothing. It was just everything that was electronic, just shut it off. And he would tell you that those days were by far the best memories he will ever have with his family, because they were more present with each other. They were more interactive with each other. They did a lot of things together. We're talking about like ideas of how, like, Isaiah was challenging you to do things. Another thing is you could do what Charlie Kirk did and pick one day out of the whole entire week to shut everything off and just be present with each other as a family.
Don't let the digital age steal that from you. This was the Fruitful 3 show. Stay grounded, stay real. And I'm going to do merch because I forgot to do merch. I also want to tell you something. Yeah, I woke up Sunday with a fuck it attitude, you know? And when I do that, great things happen. So my new great fuck it thing is that you go listen to Iced Beats. It's on all the streaming platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, whatever. Go listen to Iced Beats, and all the profits that I make off of my music from Iced Beats, I will donate into giving my merch away to like homeless or like coat drives or something like that, pretty much. People that need clothes. I'm just going to give it right away.
Yeah.
So go, it's free, except if you have a subscription, you know, then you got to pay money for it. But otherwise, it's free. You don't have to pay me. You don't have to do nothing. You just got to listen to my music. That is my new fuck it idea, you know?
Yeah.
I love my fucking ideas. Like, that's how I get to the next level, dog.
Yeah.
So anyway,
there's a lot of people out here who I mean, there's I wouldn't say a lot of people, but there's a lot of charities around here that do food drives or clothes drives and stuff like that. So if there's any way where we can get involved in that type of stuff, I mean, like, even I have a few ideas of, I've been working with Elijah a little bit here with like designs and everything. And soon, hopefully soon, Isaiah gets the designs on his website, and we will be finding a way to use that money. If we can sell the shirts and everything else, we use that money to help support local veterans. So,
yes.
or if I can figure out how to make a more cool shirt design for my nonprofit, then I'll go to my nonprofit, but it don't matter.
Well, yeah. So, you know, go listen to Iced Beats and generate some money so I can donate, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Okay, I'm out of here. So peace, love, happiness, and unity.
As always, rock on.